Welcome to The Miracle You, guiding you on the journey towards finding passion and purpose, and how to discover, create, and live a life by your design. Whether your success has been plentiful or your missed opportunities have been overwhelming, we can help you become a more empowered, masterful person and show you how to share your gift with the world. It's time to inspire change from within with the host of The Miracle You, Vince Kramer.
Hello, imagination. I'm Vince Kramer, your host, and welcome to The Miracle You, where you learn about the magic of living your life by finding the example in real life. Each and every one of us are amazing. We have no idea how unique we are in the combination of gifts and talents that we bring to the world. Unfortunately, the world seems to be extremely busy right now, and our lives are taken over by things on the outside. But I think it's important for each of us to realize that we need to take time for ourselves, and we need to bring our gifts and talents to the world in a way that truly does make a difference, that truly lights people up. And when we can do that, and we can do it from the present moment, we can make the most of every single moment we have in our lives. We give people the opportunity to step into doing the same for themselves, to living their gifts and talents fully, to sharing who they are and their magic with others in the world. And then it opens up for even more to do the same. It's a chain reaction that will definitely change our world, will definitely open us up to living the lives we're meant to live. I'm with Beau Brant today, and Beau's an airline pilot and pianist. He's been playing the piano since he was 3 years old and flying commercially for the last 22 years. He is currently an airline captain on the Airbus at a major airline out of Denver, Colorado. Beau paid for some of his flight training by playing piano in bars, restaurants, weddings, and loves to play at special events to create a mood and bring people together. As a mentor for young aviators, he loves to guide their path, as it's such a rewarding and challenging career. In everything he does, he shares the example to be present and enjoy each moment, not wish you were in the future versus where you are right now. As a pianist, he has 6 albums of original and cover music on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon Music. He even plays on his layovers in certain U.S. cities to get crew members together with the locals that he has met in his travels. He loves people, conversation, and giving back. Beau Brant, are you ready to share the miracle of you with the imagination?
Absolutely, Vince. I'm honored to be here. So thank you so much for having me on your podcast show.
And it's an honor for me too, Beau. Like I was sharing before we started the recording today, there's so much of my living 2 passions and loving flying airplanes and doing what else I know I was meant to do. You're a great reflection of that for me, and how amazing it is and was. So before we dig into the specifics of what you're doing in the world, Beau, could you share a little bit more about you and who you are?
Sure, absolutely. I'm a Colorado native. Really enjoyed growing up here, spending time outside. I was always, from a young age, just I've kind of been programmed to from the moment the sun rises until the sun sets, just to be out and living the best of life every single day. I found out, in my career field that I had an interest and love for flying from probably about 5 years old. I had some neighbors that had worked at the airline where I'm at right now, and they've kind of guided me along the way, and it's been been an amazing process to learn kind of their stories and how to follow some of their footsteps. I also, with my piano background, I was introduced to the piano at a very young age. My parents had a piano, but they just said I was always drawn to it. Even from around 3 years old, I would just go up and kind of figure out some of the tones, and it's just something that I've tried to play nearly every day my entire life. And what I've loved with music is that I feel it brings not only peace for myself, just whether you've had a good or bad day, it's just such a nice way to unwind, and you can tell a story through the music without even having to talk. And then also, I found it to be a wonderful tool to, again, bring people together, as you mentioned. If it's on a layover somewhere, I try to invite the crews and just have a nice time where people can sit down together, maybe have some food and a drink, and just enjoy that time together. I have three young children that 2 of the 3 right now are playing music. My 13-year-old is a wonderful cello player. His name is Nolan. And my daughter Clara plays piano and violin. And my youngest Pearson, who's 9, or coming up on 9, he has an incredible amount of talent to come, great rhythm and everything, but he hasn't played a actual instrument yet. My wife Jen is a beautiful singer. In fact, she just sang at a beautiful quinceañera at a neighbor's home, singing Ave Maria. And they said, I unfortunately was gone that weekend, but all the neighbors and friends said that there was tears all around us with the beauty voice. So we definitely are a family of music, and just trying to live our life the best each and every day. And I look forward to more of our conversation here.
As we talk, Beau, I know many of the listeners, wow, at 5 years old, you knew that you wanted to fly airplanes. At 3 years old, you started into another love of playing the piano. And we have a tendency to look at people like you and say, oh my God, everything's been perfect on the road. And we all have our ups and downs. Could you share a couple wake-up calls or a wake-up call that you had during your life that wasn't so positive, but it really pushed you to be who you are?
Sure, absolutely. Growing up, I came from a very nurturing family. My mother in Evergreen, Colorado, was an incredibly well-known elementary school teacher. She, just a quick side note on this, is that she has taught several pilots that I've actually flown with, way back in first grade. And she kept a book of her class birth dates. And believe it or not, I've met people in my life, even, they're in their 40s or maybe even almost 50 years old, that have said, hey, I received a birthday card from your mother. And it just touched me so much that she was my first grade teacher. So that, that's definitely some great mentors, from my own parents. So as far as some difficulties growing up, though, is my father used to work for the National Park Service. And when I was born, he kind of went on a different path to start his own companies. And his whole career was being an entrepreneur and starting businesses, which, had good years and bad years. So kind of in my teenage years, when I started flying airplanes at 12 years old, his businesses were going through some difficult times up and down. And, the flight training that I was already starting was kind of some roadblocks with some finances. I was able to start playing the piano at this Italian restaurant in Evergreen, Colorado. And, I was 12 years old, starting on a Thursday night. There was a gentleman who played up there for a long time. He had Fridays and Saturdays. But it was kind of fun that, I was able to play at this nice fancy restaurant at a young age. And then slowly, as he actually was kind of winding down the next couple of years, I ended up, being the Friday and Saturday event up there, and ended up playing at several restaurants in the Denver area as well. But what I found is that, with the struggles of the flight training and the expense of it, is I was able to play, and, the money I would earn each night I would use towards my flight training. And I feel like, today, looking back, if I had not had that ability with mixing piano and flying flight training, I wouldn't be where I am right now. One other big wake-up call that I would say was, just a big struggle was the last February of 2020. My parents had gone into Evergreen. They were in 2 different spots where I grew up, and the house that I grew up in unfortunately had an electrical cord that arced in the garage, and everything that they owned burnt down in 45 minutes. And so that was a tragedy last year. And then unfortunately I lost my father unexpectedly. He was only 69 years old on Easter this year. What I learned from him, that are kind of some of these wake-up calls, were just that, he really taught me to make the best of every day, really be present in life. And even though he had struggles himself with his business and everything, he always encouraged me just to do the best I could every day, and that he thought I was amazing, that I was able to help when he was going through some difficult times. And I greatly miss him, of course, but I feel like his greatest gift was that he had a love for music too, but he also took the time every day to make the best of life, and would always be present, looking around, being in the moment. And I'll share another story coming up when we were in Italy together. But I think those are some of the things that really helped me who I am today.
And you've made such a mark on the world for the audience. I've flew at the same company as Beau is flying at right now. We've had many of opportunities to be together, and I want to share that Beau truly is someone from the heart, and that's why I asked him to be here today, because of his desire to make the best of each and every moment, and to show up and truly make a difference in people's lives. So let me ask you this, Beau. How is it having two passions? And sometimes I know you've got to be pulled between each of them sometimes. What's it like?
Absolutely. Yeah, I know I've had some people over the years say, so are you a pilot who plays the piano, or are you a pianist that flies airplanes? So it is kind of funny that I've had these parallel careers. What I do, I think, feel so fortunate about is that places I've flown, whether it's Australia or Germany or France, I've been able on these layovers to find pianos and get to know the people at these restaurants or hotels, and they've let me fly. So I've had this parallel career where I've had the stability, even though the airlines can be up and down, as we all know, but still having that overall income stability, which obviously really helps. But at the same time, the piano, if I had done a full career of that, I absolutely would have loved that too. But being able to do both, when I fly and still play at a lot of events and on my layovers, to me it's kind of this perfect balance. So I just absolutely love being able to do both. What I do find with flying, if you compare it to playing the piano, this is kind of an interesting way to analyze it. But when you play the piano, you might have some notes that you can play it exactly how it was written, and that's kind of like when we fly, we have these standard operating procedures, as they're called, action items. You do everything in this exact step. So I could play the music exactly like that, but what I try to do in my music is I take that original, or I'm sorry, not the original piece, but if I'm playing somebody else's work, I like to take that structure of the music and then add my own elements on it. And same thing when you fly, we do have our standard operating procedures, but you do have some ability to introduce some of your own techniques as well. So I think that's kind of the artistry of flying mixed into the piano, if that makes sense. And it's just something that they really have a lot of parallels in and out together. So
the flying world, pilots are definitely a certain kind of people. They have to be able to compartmentalize. They have to be able to think on their feet. They've got to be able to operate independently, but together with other people all at the same time is operating independently. So there's a very interesting mix, but there's a small percentage of people that show up at their job flying airplanes like you do. You bring the customer into every one of your flights. You bring your crew into every one of your flights. Tell the audience how your desire to live in the present moment and to really bring people together, how that has helped you be a better airline captain.
Sure, absolutely. So if I reflect on some of my mentors when I grew up, one of my neighbors had been in the very first class of pilots in the 747 at Pan Am, and eventually came, kind of merged in with the airline where we are now. And I heard some of these old stories of the nostalgia of people would show up in the airplane in suits and ties, and you would make it this, wonderful experience. And I was always, loving hearing about those past stories. In the modern aviation world, it's such an important part of our travel to get people from A to B, and a lot of our customers, just do go on the web and order or purchase a ticket, and a lot of it's price driven and things. But what I want to do is when my customers, whether they're loyal to the airline or they're new customers, I feel like every flight matters and really makes it, can really make an impact and difference. So I feel from the moment, you show up in operations, I really want to build my team. So my co-pilot I'm flying with, I really want to make sure that they feel he or she, feels important and part of the team. When I show up at the gate area before we board the airplane, I want the gate agent to feel, extremely welcome, and also that, hey, we're on the same team here. Anything you need, let me know. My flight attendants, they do a very difficult job, especially the last 15 months with all the COVID restrictions and everything. And I just want them to know how much I recognize their hard work, and I really just want to build those teams every time I fly. So once you kind of build your team and let everyone know that they're we're all here together, I just really want to emphasize that every flight has a story. Every flight has moments that we need to recognize. So I try to find out. We do the ability to see if there's any birthdays on board or any special things like an anniversary, someone going somewhere. So I actually keep some cards with me that what I try to do is I don't want it to be just for me. Is I have the entire crew sign, whether it's a birthday card or an anniversary or happy honeymoon or even some big celebrations like 1 million or 2 million or 3 million miles. And I have the whole crew sign this and deliver during the flight. Just so again, whatever person is there feels really recognized and supportive, and hopefully makes their day better. I just love coming to work. I don't think I have had a day where I don't want to fly today. I love every bit of the job and how you're able to bring people together and connect. Good stories, good moments, people going to see their loved ones, even someone that might be going to deal with a difficult situation, a loss of a family member. I just want every flight to be special and really, really make a difference in our airline industry.
So let me ask you, Beau, because what you've been sharing just for the last couple minutes here is life for you is really making an experience for those people that you come in contact with. Where did that come from?
I would look back and I would say that's probably a lot from my mother and my grandmother. They were such important role models to me. I think that looking at both of their personalities, they just love to give back to their community. Do anything that they could to make a difference. My grandmother was a volunteer. She was a nurse originally when she met my grandfather, but always was giving in her community. Just an incredible woman. My mother volunteers, from Meals on Wheels, all of her students that she's mentored and neighbors that she helps. So I just feel like that's such an important thing in our world right now, is just to give as much as you can, and I feel like we're kind of in a negative. I don't mean to use negative, but the world has changed a little bit, and my goal is to have us all just again stop and be present and try to each day live life the best we can by doing good for others. Really be there to support and just try to have more respectful conversations with each other. So again, looking back, I would just say that those two women in my life were an incredible part of who I am.
There's a couple different directions I'd like to go here, but the first one, I think it'd be very helpful to the imagination, because sometimes we don't understand how our life is intermixed or intertwined. Could you share with us first how a pilot has helped you be a better pianist, and then how being a pianist has helped you be a better pilot?
Sure. Earlier when we touched base on kind of the if you want to call it improvisation, and when I play, how you can you have your certain techniques, but you can build on those. I think that again, the art of flying, I think if we focus on how the piano has helped me become a better pilot, you have to be extremely disciplined. When I was taking formal lessons from 5 to about 15 was my actual formal training, and you really had, there were some struggles at times. You really had to balance out the discipline of reading music and I was at the same time really trying to memorize some music because I was performing in restaurants and things. So I feel like those skills that you learn early on in music, the structure, the discipline really helped me in the future as far as flying, because to be an airline pilot, we have so many different dynamics every day. There's never a flight that's the same. You're always dealing with weather, with interpersonal relationships. There might be some passenger struggles, or even the positivities that I talked about, like a honeymoon, for example. Different airports. It's always changing, but yeah, we still have that discipline of these standard operating procedures that we learn that are kind of our baselines. So if you compare those again to piano and flying, you have that really strong structure and baseline, but then you have the ability, as an artist or a pilot, to have those techniques to to kind of finesse flying, make situations better, as well as piano. Like I said, you can take a song and add your own twists and elements to it to make it unique, but a song that anybody can recognize. So that's more or less how those are intertwined together.
I appreciate that, and it's a great explanation to show just how we bring different talents and skills into different parts of our lives, and they're important in all parts of our lives. That's why we developed them. So that was a great explanation to help people see this. Let me ask you this, Beau. If someone asked you why you were able to live both passions, what would you tell them?
I think it's so important to, if a person, not just myself, has a passion. Maybe somebody likes to, write poetry, play the guitar, draw, paint. If there's any sort of passions you have, whether mountain climbing, anything you have, I think it's so important to take time every day to follow your own passion and do that for yourself. I feel like if you don't take care of yourself and follow your passions and just focus maybe on your career or something, I think it can kind of hurt that soul and inner who you are. So that's why I feel it's so important to do both and take time to do that. And then you can share that, hopefully share that gift with others, whatever your passion is. But I would just say that, I think it's so important to do both and keep up on this music. And I hope that I can continue that basically, the rest of my life.
What would you tell somebody who believes that life is too busy to pursue both, to pursue those things that they're really good at, that really enjoy doing? What would you tell them?
I would just say that there's no excuse to not make time for that. I realize that our lives are very busy in our world, and there's there might be children involved, your work life, move, there's always things going on. But I still think that if you can kind of reprogram your own schedule, whether it's once a week to just take even an hour out of your busy life to do that, I think if you've taken the time to learn and build something you're passionate about, you can't let that go, and that's such an important thing to keep that going. And that's kind of a promise I've made to myself, that there has been times where life has been just chaos and a lot of things going on, but I said, I need to take a moment for myself and just do this myself. And I think it's really helped me through some difficult times, especially the last 15 months that I've had internally in my family.
At Imagine Miracles, we call our mission or our purpose our divine intent, because we believe that we truly bring that intent, that mission into the world with us. What would you say your divine intent is?
With whether it's music or not, I just want to try to make the world a better place by being present with anyone I'm with. I feel that I'm here to try to bring people together, whether it's in a social media setting, whether it's my crew, whether it's passengers. I just want people to realize that not only do I care for them, but they're hopefully surrounded by people that can be there for them. So I think my divine intent is probably mostly just to bring people together and try to make a positive change or reflection in life with them. I just I love waking up and just living life the best I can every day, and I again just want to make any difference I can with other people I'm surrounded with.
Community is so important. We weren't meant to be alone. We're meant to be in community. And when we understand and care about each other and help each other along the journey, it's easier for all of us, first of all, because that's what we're meant to do. But then also we can help each other grow and expand into more of who we are. There's so much that you bring to this world. And as the creator of your own life, as the person that can call any of the unlimited possibilities out of the universe, what would you like to do next? What's on the horizon for Beau Brant?
That's a good question. If we looked at my family, I would say that I'm really excited just to be try to be the best father I can and watch my children grow and blossom. Hopefully, be good parents to them. My oldest son Nolan, actually he even flew last night, but he's 13 already doing some flight training, and definitely has the airline pilot bug. So it's fun to see him go down that path. My daughter's incredibly creative in art and music, and she actually wants to be a flight attendant for the travel, and basically. I think she'll have an art gallery or something down the road. Who knows? But then my son Pearson wants to do military service. So just in that regard, I'm really excited to see what's on the horizon for them. As far as myself, I just I want to continue down my path to both at the airline. Just continue to mentor others. We have an incredible amount of new pilots that are going to be hired in the next decade especially, and I really would like to be involved any way I can to really mentor them and help these future aviators give excellent customer service, really focus on team building, showing up. It's just more than flying an airplane. It's about the team you build and what you can do to really make a difference on each flight. So that's something I'd really like to continue to try to build. And I'm actually working on kind of a mentoring guide right now for future pilots that are going to go through the express ranks before they come to the mainline airline. So those are just some things on the horizon. Music-wise, I do try to write some songs. So I've composed about 80 original songs that, as you mentioned, on iTunes and Spotify. So I do try to take time once a month to compose some new music, and that's something that I basically like to write songs on experiences and moments that I've had. So I would say that, if you looked at a lot of my music, for example, there's a song called The East Garden. When I used to fly to Tokyo Narita, I used to go to the Imperial Garden in downtown Tokyo, and I would even just go there by myself and just, you could look around in this beautiful, peaceful, kind of the Zen setting. And I wrote a song about, the East Garden and just that feeling that I had. So looking forward to the future, again, I want to just share some of those moments in some more music that I write. So that's basically my whole plan for the future.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that, and I know there's so many amazing things that are going to come into your life that you have no idea of yet, just because of who you are and the energy that you bring to the world and the vibration that you bring to the world. You kind of gave us a teaser earlier, and I'm not going to let you escape without telling us the story of Italy.
Sure. No, absolutely. So, with losing my father at a young age, and it was, like I said, it was completely unexpected. We'd just been together a couple days before that. When I look back on one of my struggles, is I think if I reflected on myself, I always, as I mentioned, from morning to night, just would go all day long. But in some ways, I think that actually was kind of a flaw of some things I had to work on. I couldn't say no to people. I always would just say, sure, I can do that, and actually, did cause some messes when I was younger of missing some appointments and things. So one time, my father came with me to Milan, Italy, and I took him up to Lake Como, and I was so excited to show him all around. And we sat down that afternoon for a glass of red wine, and we were looking over the water. And I said, all right, okay, let's finish up, and I got to take you here. And he's like, no, hold on, just slow it down. He said, just look around here, look at this beautiful water, and looking out to the Italian Alps, and that was kind of that moment where I was like, I just go, and I was excited to show him. But that's again the lesson I learned from him. It was just being present, being in the moment. And I caught him, I look back on his life. There were so many times that he would just look out over this beautiful serene setting, and we were all like, okay, Dad, let's go. And I wish that I would have been more in that moment with him of just taking in, and I so looking forward, that's what I want to do more and continue to work on, is just being more present and taking, who you're with and where you are, and just really enjoying that moment.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that story. And that's so important for each and every one of us. We don't take time to enjoy life very often, and we definitely don't take time to show the appreciation and gratitude for what shows up in our life, or what we create in our life, or especially the people in our life. So thanks for that. Actually, a story of advice for each and every one of us. I appreciate it. Beau, could you tell us how people can learn more about your music and what you're doing there?
Absolutely. So since the digital world has kind of taken over, I used to produce CDs that actually, some of them had sold in Barnes and Noble, in their music department back in the day. But the CD world has really kind of disappeared. So pretty much most of my music now is all digital downloads. I do have a Facebook page called Beau Brant Piano. That's BeauBrant Piano. There is a YouTube channel, so Beau Brant Piano on YouTube. But the main downloads, if you'd like to put them on your devices, would be on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music. But basically, there's 6 albums that are available online, and basically 5 of the 6, for the most part, are original. I do have a Christmas album that I did, kind of a holiday album, and then during the quarantine period, kind of last September 2020, I did an album called 4 Decades, since I've been playing for 40 years, or almost, I guess 40 years of actual playing. So I kind of put some of my favorite pieces together. There's only one original on that one, the very last song, but these are just some great pieces that I hope you would enjoy, and a lot of them that I think a lot of people know. So thank you for supporting that. And I guess I do want to share one other story that I really was fortunate to be part of. Is I played on a layover in Hong Kong one time, and I met a gentleman who, after I was finished playing, he asked for my contact information, and it was almost a year later that he reached out to me. But he said that he goes between Hong Kong and Berlin, Germany, and I can share this link with you all. You could attach to the podcast if you wanted. But basically, he invited my family, my wife and children to Berlin, Germany, to be kind of the closing event. This was summer of 2018. It was this big art and music festival, and there was some European diplomats and some wonderful people that I met from all over the world. But I was able to be that last kind of private concert for his closest friends. And my wife and my oldest son came out there. But that was one of those moments in life that I just felt I was just surrounded by so many amazing people with so much positive energy, and that was one of the biggest highlights of my my music career, I should say. So that's about my music background, and again, thank you for letting me share that with you.
And that story shows each and every one of us: live your gifts and talents, share them with the world freely, do those things that you love to do those things that you're good at, and people will recognize you. And in that, you're going to have opportunities to make more changes, to experience life in an even greater way. So don't hesitate to put yourself out there and do those things that you enjoy and do the things that you're good at. All that information I'm going to make sure is available on Beau's show page. Just go to themiracleyou.com, look for Beau's episode. All that information will be there for you. So it's just a click away to get some of Beau's music. Beau, I'm going to do this a little bit different today because I know you have an amazing gift that you want to share with the audience. So I want to thank you for joining me on the podcast today. I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate so much who you are. I love you as a person and as an example of what you're sharing with the world. And I was wondering if you would share a little bit of the piano with us.
Sure. No, I would be absolutely honored. I'd love to play a original piece that I composed a couple years ago. I think what I'll do is, since I told you places and experiences I have kind of helped me write a song. This was in, I believe, January 2012. We went to Istanbul and Ephesus, Turkey. And on the way there, we went through Ephesus, the ancient Eastern Roman Empire town that we were there when nobody was around, and walking through these old Roman streets, where Ephesians and the Romans were. It was such a energy and amazing feeling there. So I wrote a song called The Crumbling Wall, and I'll share with you, again, I just hope you can close your eyes and imagine, walking through this cobblestone streets and some old columns, and just imagine, that feeling. So if you're ready, I'll go over here and we'll get playing on that. Here is The Crumbling Wall. Again, the song about Ephesus, Turkey.
That was The Crumbling Wall, a special gift from our guest today, Beau Brant. On behalf of Mary, my business partner, and my wife, and the entire team at Imagine Miracles, we want to wish you a miracle day.
You've completed this episode of The Miracle You, but we have plenty more to help you discover your own personal passion and purpose. Head over to themiracleyou.com for free resources to assist you on your journey, as well as register for our free webinar, Discover Your Miracle Life, 3 mind-awakening steps toward your unique purpose, or apply for a one-on-one Your Life, Your Way breakthrough session and discover your next best step on your journey. All available exclusively on our website. That's themiracleyou.com. We look forward to sharing more experiences of passion, purpose, and life by design next time, right here on The Miracle You.